All right. Hey guys, how's it going? Disclosure, disloyalty, and stuff like that. So what does betrayal mean? So basically, it just says to not be loyal to your country or a person, often by doing something harmful, such as helping their enemies. He was accused of betraying his country during the war. She felt betrayed by her mother's lack of support. All right, so that's basically what a betrayal is. Let's kind of get more into it. So, betrayal means an act of deliberate disloyalty, like when your friend told other people all your secrets. What a betrayal, betrayal's root is betray, which comes from the Middle English word betrayen. So, basically, it means to mislead, to deceive. Betrayal has nothing to do with destroying someone's trust. Betrayal has to do with betraying someone's trust, possibly lying. So, the narcissist can betray you in many, many different ways. I'm pretty sure you may know if you are listening to this or watching this. So, the narcissist could betray your trust by lying to you. They could betray your trust by, falsely accusing you of things that you're not doing, maybe that they're doing, but they could be falsely accusing you of doing things. They may be gossiping about you. They could be, maybe making up a lie. Like some narcissists can, especially the female narcs, they may try to say that, they're pregnant and they could fake a pregnancy. So, that could be a sense of betrayal. You know what I mean? Or it could be like if it's a parent could betray your trust by, lying to you about something. Um, some some cases, some parents could lie about their. They could say to their children like, "Hey, this is your father," and stuff like that. And it may not be the father, so you have that type of betrayal. Or it could also be where sometimes the mother can choose um, another person over their children. So the certain parents could betray their children by kind of showing disloyalty to their own flesh and blood. You have that kind of thing going on. Again, it could be betrayal of trust. All any sort of deceit, any type of lies that can cause a person harm. Any infliction, any way in which a person could feel deceived, misled. That can be what a betrayal is. Again, a violation of a person's trust or confidence, of a moral standard, a violation of principles and things like that, values, morals. Um, yeah, so it could also be, where a partner cheats. They could cheat on their spouse or cheat on their girlfriend or their boyfriend. Also, could be where in a friendship dynamic, some friends could betray their friends by, again, sharing their secrets or sharing things that, they told them not to tell. You could have that, or somebody could feel like, oh, well, this one friend doesn't want to be my friend anymore, or whatever the case may be. Somebody could feel like that could be a betrayal, or whatever the case may. Just depends. If it's a narc, you do want to drop that, but if it's not a narc, there may be some things to kind of sort out. But it says here. Oh, it also says somebody could feel betrayed if your significant other doesn't defend you in an argument with others, or they feel like you don't stand up for them, or you don't protect them, or whatever the case may be. That could be a form of betrayal, that kind of thing. So, there's many different ways in which a betrayal can occur, right? So again, lying, cheating, breaking promises, and disclosing confidential information can all be ways in which a person can betray us. So we just wanted to keep that in mind. So now, if you have been in a narcissistic household or grew up in a narcissistic environment, or if you may have had a person in your life that was a friend that was a narc, or could have been a significant other, or a love interest, you're definitely going to experience betrayal for sure. So now it's a point. where you have to heal from that betrayal. You know what I'm saying? And, the narcissist is not going to help you to do this, right? And if anything, they're going to actually want to cause you more harm. They're going to want to cause you more betrayal and more hurt, more pain, more agony, more stress, more anxiety. They're going to want that for you. But you have to kind of go against that, right? So you have to um, overcome that fear of betrayal for your next connection or friendships, relationships, or whatever the case may be, right? So that means that you have to heal, right? And we always go back to, healing, doing your inner work. And if you want to, you can watch the video that I did previously. I'll try to see if I can link it below to kind of talk more about what exactly is inner healing and doing the inner work and actually staying consistent with the inner healing and the inner work. Because when you work on yourself, when you heal yourself, you won't be a magnet for the narcissist. The narcissist can't trick you. They can't manipulate you. They can't gaslight you and, do whatever tactics they're doing. It's not going to affect you because you already know what's going on. You get me? So you do just want to keep that in mind. But yeah, so overcoming the fear of betrayal. So again, the ways in which you can overcome your fears of betrayal is basically doing the inner healing, doing the inner work, right? And then you have to be able to, as always, spending that time by yourself, right? So spend the time by yourself, but also, kind of talk about, what fears you have coming up when it comes to betrayal. And also, you have to learn about how to not betray yourself, because a lot of times when we are betrayed by others, a lot of times we're betraying ourselves, if that makes sense, right? So when you betray yourself, it's like, again, you have this intuition inside of you, or you have this gut feeling about an individual, and you could know that something is off, but instead you may go against it because it could be, you could be feeling lonely, you could be feeling sad, you could be feeling depressed or stressed out. And, so you go against what your intuition is telling you. So in fact, you kind of betray yourself. So you want to make sure that you're not betraying yourself. You know what I mean? So I do hope that that is helpful. And again, that kind of leads to the next point, is trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, and knowing and listening to what your inner voice is telling you, your inner knowing. I do want to kind of talk more about this. And this could also be a trauma too, because, let's say, you're dealing with a narcissist, and maybe the narcissist could remind you of someone in your life. Like maybe the narcissist could remind you of like your mom, right? Or the narcissist can remind you of your dad. Or the narcissist could have reminded you of anyone that could have been around you, like growing up. And so that's the reason why sometimes we feel comfortable around certain narcissistic people, because, maybe that could feel like home to us, that can feel like normal. That's all we knew. That's all those are the type of role models that we had growing up, right? We could have had a household full of toxicity, a household full of mayhem, chaos, drama, gossip, and things like that, So when you meet a narcissist, you could automatically, connect with them, because that is a certain type of trauma that you haven't healed yet, if that makes sense, right? So, all right. And so the other thing is, you want to make sure when it comes to overcoming the fear of being betrayed after dealing with the abuse is, practicing self-care, as we always say, right? Loving yourself, spending time with yourself, um, going within, taking care of yourself, just really nurturing yourself, right? Protecting yourself and knowing your boundaries, right? Knowing your standards and not going against what is true for you, what's right for you, like being stern and focused on, what makes sense for you, like what you will allow and what you won't allow, if that makes sense, right? Now, the other thing, a way in which you can heal, you can overcome that fear of betrayal is, don't expect everybody to betray you, right? Now I know that's easier said than done, because I know you could have that fear and you're like, oh, I've dealt with this situation in the past, or maybe it's been multiple times. Maybe it was multiple situations and you felt like, people betrayed you. You have to realize that not everybody is going to do that. And it could also be a thing where you have to make sure that you have a way of picking better people, because at the end of the day we all choose individuals, right? We're choosing people that you're connecting with, or you're interacting with, or you're relating with, right? So you have to get better at screening people, right? So again, so if there's someone that you're meeting or individuals you're around and you see like some signs of toxicity or betrayal, or narcissistic characteristics, or some signs of control and obsession and harmfulness of a person, dangerousness of an individual, you have to be able to trust that and acknowledge it, and you have to be able to choose something better, if that makes sense. So let's say you connect with one person and you're like, something feels off, something is not right, but you know you just maybe not, you probably don't have another option per se. But let's just say, okay, you meet someone and one person is like cool, calm, collected, they're chill, and then you meet another person. Maybe they could be kind of rowdy, they may be kind of controlling, they may be possessive, and they may do things that make you feel uncomfortable, or they may do things to make you feel bad about yourself, or they may talk down on you, or try to always argue and fight with you and things like that. So you get what I'm saying. You see the difference between the two. So you have to make a better choice this time. So that way, it'll be a better chance of you not being betrayed again. Because a lot of times when we're picking people, or whether it's not just um, romantic situations or love interest. This could also be friends as well. Like, you have to be careful on who you have around you in your friendship circles, and who you have around you when it comes to romantic connections as well. Because remember, whoever you're around, that's who you become. So you just want to be careful about that. But yeah, just remembering that not everybody is going to betray you. You have to get good at being able to discern and being able to not just, oh, here's the other thing, don't just listen to what people say, actually trust their actions too. So as we always state, a lot of people can talk a really good game, but when it comes down to actually their behaviors, right, their patterns, their actions and things like that, you have to trust the actions over the words. You get what I'm saying? So if you're repeatedly seeing somebody do certain stuff and you could see like that's toxic, then you have to trust that. Like, you have to be like, okay, this is what I've seen, you know what I'm saying? And this is what it is. Now, again, people can try to trick you and make it seem like, that's not who they really are. But at the end of the day, everything always comes to the light. You get what I'm saying? Versus, if you've seen another thing on the other side, another type of individual, and you've seen that they've been consistent as far as like their behaviors and things like that, then you have to trust that. You know what I'm saying? So you do just want to keep that in mind. And then remember too, also, like I said, the narcissist will try to manipulate you. They may try to change their behaviors, and they may try to pretend like they're wanting to change, they're wanting to do better, they're wanting to work on themselves. But at the end of the day, that never happens. So you do just want to be careful about that. And again, this could also be, like I said, you could have been betrayed by your family, your own flesh and blood family members. So, that's just something you just want to keep in mind. Like, if you're trying to cope with that or trying to make peace with that, you just kind of have to accept it and acknowledge it. Don't blame yourself for like however your family treated you, or if your family lied to you about something, or maybe you felt like you were taken advantage of as a child or something, or maybe you felt like you was touched or sexually assaulted or sexually abused or ruffled in some way or funneled in some way, or you could have felt like your parents lied to you about something or they broke their promises. Again, you kind of just have to, forgive them, forgive yourself. You may have to grieve. You may have to go through a grieving process, and you may have to talk to someone about it. You may have to talk to like a coach, a counselor, or a therapist to kind of help you sort out those feelings. And you also may need to have a conversation with your parents as well. Now, if they're narcissistic parents, that may be a little difficult because with the narcissist, they're going to try to blame you, right? They're going to try to say, no, that didn't happen, or, oh, you're just making it up, or, oh, you're being too sensitive. Like they could try to throw it back onto you. Now, if you have normal parents, then that's good because then maybe you could try to talk things out like that. But if not, if you're not able to talk to your narcissistic parents, then it would probably be best to maybe talk to like a professional, right? So I hope that makes sense. And then when it comes to overcoming that fear of betrayal and disappointment too, because, you could feel like you're going to get disappointed because, again, like what you've experienced in the past, that's all you know. Like you could feel like you've been disappointed. You've been disappointed by your parents. You may feel disappointed by romantic love interests or friends. You could feel like your friends disappoint you, or you could feel like no one understands you and things like that. Again, you just may have to give yourself space. But also, like I said, just connecting with the right people, being around the right people that you feel like you can trust. Because the thing is that, you know, most people, for the most part, are trustworthy until they show you otherwise. You get what I'm saying? So, when a person shows you that they're untrustworthy, you have to trust that right away, instead of trying to give them multiple chances, because that's where the betrayal comes in. I hope that makes sense, right? Or the disappointment. And also to remember, what also can help you to overcome that fear of betrayal is putting your trust in God. I always like to come back to God. Like I'm telling you, He's the center of my life. That's why I love Him so much. I'm just saying. But when you put your trust in God, you can see that God is really the one that will not let you down. He won't disappoint you. God won't betray you. God won't cause you stress and anxiety. So once you begin to build your relationship with God, then you can say, hey, God, can you bring trustworthy people into my life? Can you bring good people into my life that, whether they be friends or whether they be romantic interests or, other type of connections, you can ask God to bring those people into your life, or lead me, guide me, show me who is good for me and who isn't. You get what I'm saying? And you'll begin to see who will fall away from you and who will come closer to you, and then that would be your answer. You get what I'm saying? And then another thing, overcoming that fear of betrayal is give yourself time, as far as learning to trust people again, or wanting to connect with people again. Because again, I know, like, when you get betrayed by the narcissist, you may feel on guard. You may feel like, oh, like the world is after me, or like people are against me, and you could have this sort of like paranoia, or you could have this stress, worries, doubts, anxiety. You could be on guard, or and that's understandable. That's completely normal. But just be patient with yourself. Be patient, and only when you're like healing from the betrayal, like that's when you can kind of get back out there and do what it is that you want to do as far as your life and who you're connecting with and relating with and things like that. But just be patient with yourself. Give yourself enough time to, whether it's grieving or healing, recovering, give yourself as much time as you need. You get what I'm saying? But you also do want to give yourself a timeline, because sometimes when you are recovering and healing from betrayal trauma, you can get stuck in that sort of, whether it's depression, loneliness and worries, doubts, fears. Like you could get stuck in that, and that could be like your cop out, or that could be, your reason for not doing anything with your life, or your reason for not moving forward, or that could be something that you hold on to because you're like, oh, I don't want to get betrayed, or I don't want to be disappointed, so that's why I'm not going to do this, or that's why I'm not going to do that. You get what I'm saying? So give yourself a timeline. Like, give yourself, whether it's 6 months, a year, you know what I'm saying? And then eventually you want to be able to move past whatever the betrayal was, from the narcissist or anyone in your life. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, practicing forgiveness. And the other thing is as far as, you being betrayed by the narcissist or anyone in your life, um, or feeling disappointed, it's just don't try to get retaliation. Don't try to get back at the person. If they betrayed you, just let it go. It is what it is. As we always say, karma does come back. So there's nothing that you have to do, nothing that you have to say, when it comes to that other individual. But of course, keep the focus on yourself. Focus on, like I said, your self-care. Focus on being patient with yourself. Don't blame yourself. Like, it wasn't your fault that you got betrayed. It was not. It had nothing to do with you. You were just an innocent victim. It happened to you, but now you can learn from it and you can grow from it. Right? That's the whole point. you know and don't become like the individual that betrayed you. You don't want to go out and betraying other people either, because again, that you can accumulate bad karma, and you don't want that to be you, because a life like that is a life of misery and you don't want that for yourself, right? But yeah, and then I guess I'll save this for the next video, because I don't want to make this video too long. But overcoming stress and anxiety. I know, like, a lot of people may have a lot going on in their lives, busy, maybe just have a lot on your plate, a lot of things to do. But you just want to try to practice, relaxation techniques and just things like being in environments and being around individuals that, that are just like no drama involved, no chaos, no mayhem, you know what I mean? Like, just tranquil, very peaceful. You want to minimize as much stress as possible. You want to minimize as much load on your plate as possible. Give yourself breaks, take the time out to get some rest, relax, and just try your best to forget about things that cause you stress, things that cause you anxiety, even though I know it could be coming at you all the time. But just try your best to focus on things that's going to help you to relieve the workload, or the drama, or whatever is going on in your life. But we're going to talk about that next week. We'll do a whole nother video on that, because I think that'd be good for those of you that could be dealing with stress and anxiety. But let me just pull it up here. Give me one moment. Let's see. Because I know that's easier said than done as well, right? Because, life is about stress. Sometimes you can't avoid it. You know what I mean? Yeah, again, taking breaks, seeking out support, connecting with others socially, maintain a normal routine, give back, and also you can try to avoid drugs and alcohol if possible. Maybe you want to find another way to help you relax without it being like an addiction per se. You know what I mean? Yeah, getting massages, stretching, and walking, listen to music, deep breaths, you know what I mean? Eat healthy, exercise, don't be too hard on yourself. But yeah, we'll talk about that in another video. But anyway, you guys, I hope that this video was helpful and insightful. I would love to know what was you guys' biggest takeaway. I would love to know if it resonated. Please feel free to share this video with a friend or a family member. Maybe it can help them and bless them as well. Make sure that you do give this video a like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. And as usual, if you guys want to reach out to me for any support, any guidance, any confirmation, or inquire about any of my products and my services, I would really love to be able to hear from you. The information about how to reach out to me is going to be in a description box below, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I'm sending you guys so much love. And with that, that's a confirmation for me to head out, because that's the fireworks. So happy 4th of July, you guys. I love you so much. Take care. Bye.